Well, good morning, you guys, and welcome back to Kids Zone. What a great day to be together and keep talking about the life of Jesus. Now, we've heard a few stories about large crowds following Jesus. There was once 5,000 tired and hungry people who were probably very grumpy. Wondering, do you guys ever get grumpy when you're hot and tired and hungry? I'm guessing your parents would say yes. Well, the people were sitting on the hillside having listened to Jesus all day long. They were hungry. They were wanting dinner. They had come that day especially to hear Jesus. They'd come before breakfast, stayed all morning, all afternoon, way past dinner. No one had meant to be out there that long, but that's how it was listening to Jesus. It was as if time didn't exist. People could listen to Jesus for hours and hours and hours. And on this day, that's exactly what they did. But they hadn't brought enough food, and they were far from home. It would take so long to get back there. And they couldn't just go and buy themselves burger and fries. They were in the middle of nowhere. Not to mention that kind of food hadn't been invented yet. So what would they do? Jesus' friends had an idea. They were like, hey, let's just send everyone home for dinner. Then we don't have to feed them. That's a great idea. And Jesus said, they don't need to go. You can give them something to eat. And they were wondering, did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town to buy food for everyone, for 5,000 people? Jesus' friends panicked. We don't have enough money to feed them. Jesus asked them, well, what food do you have? And there was a little boy in the crowd. He had brought a lunch that his mother had made for him that morning. He looked at his 5 loaves and his 2 fish. It wasn't much, certainly not enough to feed 5,000 people, but it was all he had. He was willing to offer it, and he gave it to them saying, I have some food. Jesus' friends laughed when they saw his little lunch. That is not nearly enough, they told him. But they were wrong. Jesus knew it didn't matter how much that boy had, God would make it enough, more than enough. So Jesus said to them, bring me what he has. The little boy came and gave Jesus his lunch, and Jesus winked at the little boy, whispered to him, watch this. How in the world would Jesus feed everyone with just that? Jesus' friends said. They were in shock. They were like, this is impossible. But Jesus knew the one who made all the fish in the oceans. Jesus knew the one who was in the very beginning, had made everything out of nothing at all. How hard would something like this be for someone like that? So Jesus took the little boy's lunch. He looked up to heaven and thanked God, his Father. And then Jesus gave the little lunch back to his friends. As Jesus' friends started to hand out that food, the strangest thing happened. No matter how much they broke off and handed to people, there was always more. There was always enough. And more and more and more. Enough for 5,000 people. Everyone ate as much as they wanted. Second helpings, third helpings, even fourths, until they were full. And still, there were leftovers. Jesus did many miracles like this. Things people thought were impossible. Things that they thought, that'll never happen. Things that weren't natural. But to Jesus, it was the most natural thing in the world. It's what God had been doing from the beginning, taking nothing and making it everything, taking the emptiness and filling it up, taking the darkness and making it light, as only His presence could do. We'll take some time today with the discussion questions, and I'll see you guys next time.